Hello, knockouts. Tanya TKO here. And I am so happy and so proud today. I wanted to do this video yesterday, but things keep on moving and going crazy and whatnot. So listen, we are here and I'm going to let you all know what's going on in Nigeria. I know that there are a lot of people who are from Nigeria, who are related to people from Nigeria, married to people from Nigeria, who have Nigerian friends, etc., who are on my page, especially since I went to Nigeria last year. I know it seems like it was just a few months ago, right? Since I went to Nigeria last year, I'm going to get my head wrap on, everyone. And we are going to talk about EndSARS. So, hey, good morning, everyone. Good morning. Right now, we are simulcasting on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter Periscope. So I want to know what you all know about EndSARS. So welcome, because I want to talk about this real quick and just about the shift that is happening worldwide, the awakening that is happening, people not waiting any longer for their justice and for what is due to them as human beings. So who here put up your hand if you are Nigerian, have Nigerian friends, Nigerian family members, or are very close to somebody from Nigeria. I want you all to tell me what it is that you know about the EndSARS movement, because when I first saw it, I was like, oh, I thought that this was the flu, the SARS flu, or whatever it was called. You remember a few years ago, there was this whole thing called SARS. So I was like, oh, okay, so we're in a pandemic. People want to end SARS, but no. Oh, look, severe acute respiratory syndrome. No. Listen, I see some Nigerian names in here. Educate the people, because I'm so proud and I'm so happy. As you all remember, a few months ago, I had that video that went viral where we were talking about white identified Nigerians who criticize African Americans for being lazy and this, that, and the other, when it's really the efforts of African Americans that have spread across the world in terms of lighting a fire under people for justice for their people. So we got Nigerian DNA. Some people saying SARS, COVID. No, see? No. Okay, I'm going to tell you all in just a moment. Come on, see? I see some Nigerian names. I see an Igbo man inside of the audience. Okay, finally, he's speaking up. Okay, so the Igbo man is coming forward and talking, and he says, SARS stands for Special Anti-Robbery Squad. So in Nigeria, there's this unit called SARS, the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, and they respond to, I believe, violent crimes or whatnot. And so they have a history of assaulting people, murdering youth, roughing people up, not respecting people's human and civil rights. And so there has been protests going across Nigeria, Lagos, Abuja, and everywhere in between, where people have come out to the street, have left their jobs, left school, and are in the road protesting. Remember how we had these protests for Black Lives Matter? So they are in the streets protesting. Remember, all across the world, people got up and they lifted their voice, they lifted their fists, they lifted their powers, and they worked on, and they came out into the streets during the pandemic after George Floyd, and people saw him murdered, right? Imagine how people feel. You know, here we are, African Americans in this country, taken from our motherland, and then the people in the motherland seeing us here, getting shot down, choked down. This is not even on my head. I'm going to do it again, but I'm going to read some of the comments, right? All right. So Rhonda is saying, please pray for Nigeria. So listen, one of the things that actually is going on. So remember, we came out and we went in the streets, and we were so happy about the worldwide response to people really looking and seeing what the hell is going on in the United States. Why are Black people being killed and victimized and all this other stuff, right? And so now, just a few months later, Nigerians have stood up have headed out into the streets because remember, a few years ago, they attempted to do protests and then the politicians came out and started paying artists to perform and tell people to go home. They were handing out free ice cream and then it turned into just like a kind of huge picnic and people just forgot about why they were protesting in the first place. And it was kind of sabotage. But this time, no, they're not letting up. They did not let up. And listen, this is the best part right here. I'm going to announce the good news in just a second. Because I'm excited about what's happening. And for those of you who are asking, yes, I did get this cloth I got this cloth in Nigeria when I was there. I got this on Balagun. I went to this special shop and this is some very high quality fabric. So I was happy to be able to get this on Balagun. You all remember my videos. If you have not seen my videos, I have an entire playlist of my trip to Nigeria. I was there for an entire month. I went to Ghana for the year of return as well. And then I went from Lagos to Owerri. I went to Igbo land, Anambra, and then I went over to Ghana, and then I came back, and then I went up to Abuja, then back down to Lagos, and I flew out. So yeah, so this print is, oh gosh, I feel like I'm going so fast that I'm not able to get a good tie. Look at that, it's not tying right. Let me see if I get this in. No. All right. Listen. Listen. I want you all to say the good news that happened yesterday because they did a press conference with Davido and his lawyer, and there were some other people inside of the room, but I'm going to give some tips on some things that I think that Nigerians can do. Because remember, African Americans, we've been at this protesting for hundreds of years in this country. Right. Well, I'd say so we really started being able to get our voices heard during the civil rights movement of the 60s. Kwame Nkrumah, the guy who actually ended up fighting for the liberation of Ghana, was inspired by African Americans. So was Mandela. So there are a few things that we have gotten right in this country, and I'm going to give some tips, but there was some good news that happened yesterday. And I kind of want an update on what happened because I don't know what has happened since the update that I saw yesterday, right? And I'll give you all the good news. So the good news is that the IG, the Interior General, they disbanded SARS. They saw that the people were protesting. They disbanded SARS. They disbanded the unit, and the unit is no more. So the people rose up, the people spoke, and the IG disbanded SARS. So there are a few different things that they're demanding, but there's a lack of coordination between Abuja and Lagos. So there's not there's no internal communication between the organizations, the people who are organized in Lagos and the people who are organized in Abuja. So they're making certain demands, but the left hand doesn't really know what the right hand is doing. And so there's a little bit of disorganization. So I'm going to give some tips for some things that Nigerians can do. And I just want to let Nigerians know that I'm so proud of you all. I've been waiting. Because when I went to Nigeria and I saw the state of things in Nigeria and how the government was treating people in Nigeria, I was really disheartened because I'm like, this is not patriotic. This is not the way that the government is treating the people it does not denote a love for Nigeria. The way that Nigeria is being run and handled, that's not loving. That's not people who are proud of their country. That's not people who want their country to thrive. So now people are standing up and I'm excited. I'm excited because there's an air of protest and there's an air of justice that is around us. And I'm so excited for the people of Nigeria speaking up and raising their voice, lifting their voice for their liberation. And it's working. SARS was disbanded. And when I saw it, I felt this warm feeling come over me. And I was like, you know what? I was like, this is what it looks like. I was like, this is what it looks like when you come from a majority Black country. Let's see, which earring should I? Oh, maybe it's a bit too much, but you know, the shape of Africa. You know what? Let me put my, yes, because we are connecting with our African roots today. Let's see. Yes, this is what I've been doing. No, it's too much. 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 It's too much altogether. It's all too much. Too much. We're going to tone it down just a little. I don't have to be like I'm African. You can see from my face, my features. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. We'll go this way. We'll go this route. You can tell. All right. All right. So let's see. So yeah, so there are a few people who are just hearing about this for the first time. They have not heard of EndSARS, and that's why I'm doing this video, to bring awareness to what is going on in Nigeria, to bridge the gap, because you all know that I started taking the steps to create a matchmaking company to match African American women with Black men from the diaspora. And I think that it's important. So family is the foundation of any society. And I think it's important for we African Americans and Africans, Black people on the continent, to bridge the gap and come together and get back in touch with our roots, create a stronger union. And I think that it benefits the entire world. I feel like Africa is the sleeping giant, and that there is a power, a rising that is upon us right now that cannot be held back. You know, it's like you can cut the head off of a protest, but you cannot stop the protest, because a protest has many heads. And so I want to give, speaking of many heads, I want to give some tips on some things that Nigerians can do, right? So one of the things that Nigerians can do is form an organization. So you know how like we have Black Lives Matter, and there's a Black Lives Matter headquarters, and there is a list of demands on the website. There's a list of demands that are universal across the Black Lives Matter movement. So if Nigerians can create a headquarters, an organization to be able to organize the message of the protests from Abuja to Lagos and in all of the cities, because what's ending up happening is there's a lack of communication between what's happening. So people have been arrested. People who have been protesting have been arrested. They're not playing in Nigeria. Nigeria is not like, they are not playing. It's not, Nigeria is not like other places. So I've heard that people's bank accounts have been frozen. So they identify you in the protest. They freeze your bank accounts. They arrest you. They throw you in jail. They cut off your access from your funds and your money. And they are not playing. So there are people who were arrested in Abuja who were let go, but then there are people who are also arrested in Lagos, and nobody knows who has been let go, who's still in custody, etc. So there needs to be a unifying head. Headquarters, so that communication can take place. You also need lawyers, lots and lots and lots of lawyers. So, you know, many Nigerian families push for their children to become doctors, lawyers, etc., all across the globe. Now is the time that those efforts come together and assist people in Nigeria, assist fellow Nigerians in being able to get people out of jail, communicate with these forces, communicate with the people who are in charge, and make sure that they are pressed and that they stay pressed on until the changes that take place. So one of the things that the IG did, so it's a long video. There's a long video, right, where the IG and Davido and his lawyer and a few other people are talking, right? And in the video, the IG is like, okay, so we've disbanded SARS. Why are people still protesting? And one of the things that people are concerned about is, okay, so SARS is disbanded, but are they just going to reintegrate into other areas or into other forces without getting training? So what they're asking for is SARS to be disbanded. It was disbanded. They want them to get psychological evaluations. They want them to be able to get paid more. They want them to be able to get training and to some of them fired, the people who need to be fired. They want families to be compensated for families who have been victimized and who have had their children killed by SARS. They want the families to be compensated. They want prosecution for the officers that are responsible. So they don't want to let up. So the protests still persist, because the last thing you want is to be like, okay, SARS is disbanded, let's go home now. So no, so you need lawyers on the ground. You need lawyers on the ground to be able to talk with these officials, and make sure that the agenda is met. So you need lawyers, you need freedom fighters, you need a few different people for a protest, for a movement to take place. You need legal officials, you need people who can act in a legal capacity, you need mediators, you need foot soldiers, the people who are going to be on the ground, you need an organizing head, you need all of these different things. You need people who also can do crowdfunding, who to do fundraising, so that you can get money for supplies and water and tents and things on the ground, money for people to be able to travel from area to area. And you need money for a website. You need money for a central point for people to draw information from, and also to be able to send out information and contact the people who are protesting, so that you'll be able to get people on the ground in a certain area. So like when you so foot soldiers are important, because you need to be able to have people on the ground in numbers to be able to speak the message and the voice, right? And you need to be able to get these people to different locations. So you need like a communication portal and device. All right. And so Nikel is saying, wow, hold on. The comment, let's go. Right. Nikel is saying, and what is Nigeria gonna do for America? Seriously. Are you expecting Nigeria to do something for America? I'm confused by that. I'm confused. So I'm looking at the comments now. So you could go ahead and put your comments in. I'm looking, right? Okay. So I'm confused. Are you looking for Nigeria to do something for the US? What do you need done? Right now, there's a protest going. What are you going to do for Nigeria? That they're having an uprising. What are you going to do for them? Right now, I'm doing my part by giving information from what it is that I know, because there are different people who do things in different ways, right? We need foot soldiers, we need lawyers, we need people like me in the media to be able to get a message across. I'm doing my part. What part are you going to do? It's like so that's the part that's confusing to me. And so Varens is saying some are just corrupt and money hungry. They work only for their own self-interest. So what are we talking about right now? And Patricia is saying my primping is distracting. I'm not primping. This is primping. I just put on my eyebrows and my head wrap. So Swollen is saying my wife is from Nigeria. Okay. So they need emergency housing and funding. All right. So you see, so there needs to be an organizing agency, a head. There needs to be a name. It needs to be registered. They need headquarters. They need a website. They need to be able to get information out to people. They need people in the media. They need celebrities. They need people who will fundraise. They need a lot of different things, right? And so I'm putting this message out there to make us aware here in the United States that there is an uprising. Search for the hashtag EndSARS. I'm so proud to all of my Nigerian people, my brothers and sisters out there, my cousins, aunties, and uncles out there. I just want to say congratulations. I'm proud of you. Continue the good fight. Stay on it. Stay up on it. And I'm happy you all have an advantage that we don't have here in the United States. So in Nigeria, one of the advantages that you have is that the people who are in charge look like you. The people who are in charge are you and you are they. And when they hurt you, they hurt themselves. And when they see you, they can see themselves in you. In the United States, the people who are in charge, they seem to be of a different mindset. They don't really seem to care about us. They don't really seem to see us and feel us and identify with us and know that they are us and we are they. You know, they look at us and they're like, you're different, you're this, you're that. And we already know that certain people, I don't know how to put it, but they don't seem to have the same moral compass as other people. And they don't seem to be moved by the suffering of others, nor their own barbarianism, their barbarism that exists inside of them. So Nigerians have an advantage that many people here in the United States just don't have. The powers that be look like you. The people who are policing you are of you. And so, yes, people get into power and they switch it up, but at the end of the day, these are people who come from your neighborhoods. These are people who come from your villages and join these forces. Here in the United States, the people who are policing areas live way far removed from those people, and they swoop down like overseers. So we have like neighborhoods that are like controlled by occupying forces. So there are advantages that you all have, and I'm proud and happy to hear. I'm proud and happy to hear that there are people who, I'm proud and happy to hear that there are people in Nigeria, people in power who are hearing the protest, seeing the protest and feeling shame, feeling embarrassment that what it is that they are doing are contributing to people being hurt and people being so hurt that they have to rise up and take to the streets, right? So Tanya saying, America, us can and should lend a hand to Nigeria. We could be a mighty people if we join together. And you know what? We are a mighty people, and that's why we must join together, right? That's why we must join together. All right. So Atia is saying, I think the concern is with corruption. If they take your suggestion, will the objective be fulfilled? Just saying from the comment. I'm not really sure if she's referring to somebody else in the comments, but let's see. Lioness is saying, very true, though unfortunately, many brothers and sisters on the continent feel the same way about some of their leaders, as the West still has its hands all up in there. How interesting. How interesting. Well, you know what? Listen. I think that this is an amazing and wonderful opportunity for us to come together, for us to share resources, share knowledge, share support for one another, and be able to hold space, be able to have these types of conversations, to be able to bridge the gap. Even though this conversation may seem banal, it's an important conversation to have. It's an important conversation for us to have in cross platforms. It's an important conversation to have. So, all right. So Ayodeji is saying, please educate that lady, because if I have to, I'm afraid I'll go overboard. That lady is mad lost. I don't know who you're referring to, but if you have knowledge that could educate someone, by all means, share some of your knowledge. Remember, there are people, the empty barrel makes the loudest noise. You know, like when you hit something that's empty, if it's full, it makes a low thud. If it's empty, it echoes through there. However, sometimes there's a person who may not be able to hear you, but there are other people who are reading and listening who don't speak up, but they sit back, they lurk, they look, they read, they interact that way. So even if you're talking to a person and you don't feel that that person can hear you or feel you, take some time to write out what it is that you need to write out, because there will be a person who will be able to read it, and that may be the shift that they need. So never underestimate the power of using your voice, using your words, right? And so Igbinis is saying we need to disintegrate Nigeria now. Why? Tell me why you're saying that. I'm confused. Why are you saying that? I need to be educated on this. And so Lynn is saying, is the scamming really out of control over there? I would say that from what it is that I saw when I was in Nigeria, right? From what it is that I saw, the people are underpaid, underrepresented. And when people have family and they need to live and they need to make money and they cannot make money legitimately, remember they said, those who make peaceful uprising impossible make violent uprising inevitable. So it's like, if you don't pay people and people are not able to live and they need to live, because like I told you, the hotel that I was working, the hotel that I was staying in was $160 a night. The person who was making my money, taking my money, made $150 a month. My nightly hotel fee was a month salary for that person. What happens when you have a person taking money from a person for a night's stay, and that money that is one night's stay is their whole entire month's salary? What happens? What does that inspire in a person? When a person is desperate and doesn't see a way out. So yes, there are people who participate in scams in Nigeria. Yes. However, one of the things that I was surprised by is that even though Nigerians are suffering in many ways, Nigerians are so happy and so jovial and so, the spirit is still so uplifted, right? Meanwhile, here in the United States, people out of work for 3 months and they're bashing other people over the head, breaking into their car, breaking into their homes, beating up other people, snatching, oh, snatching their purse and their wallet violently. So one of the things that I can say is, even though the situation is dire, the people are still happy. The people are still nice. And I think that, it's like nobody wants to be angry. People think, so anger has a different vibration than other energies. But anger has a place. Anger lets you know when your boundaries have been crossed. Anger lets you know when there's something that's happening that doesn't resonate with you, that is infringing upon you. And so when it comes time to take to the street, you need that energy of anger sometimes to propel you forward, to fight for your rights, to fight for your freedoms, to fight for your voice to be heard. And so that's what I'll say about that. And so Vowens is saying, I agree, because often the Nigeria government pays ransom to them and herdmen, but their killing and kidnapping still continues. I don't know what we're talking about right now. Okay, and Nikel is saying, when one power dies, another power will take over. It doesn't matter whether it's democratic power or socialist power or communist power. Somebody's always going to take rule over other people unless we kill off everybody that thinks they get the F over it. We can stop black on black crime in our own community. That's where we can start. I don't give a F if y'all don't like what I said. All black on black crime outweighs racism. Them killing gays outweighs the death of COVID. Oh, gracious goodness. What in the world? I don't know what's going on right there. Black on black crime is a racist trope created by Caucasoids to be able to continue the victimization of African American people in a system created, propagated, and continuing to be able to be fed by them. So black on black crime is a misnomer because people commit crime against people who are closest to them. But we don't really hear about white on white crime, but black on black crime. It's like we've been victims of so much inside of this country. Give me 1 second. Okay. Sorry about that. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue. I wanted to turn on another light and see if that made a difference because it's so dark in here. The camera adjusts and it just okay. So let's see. So Anthony is saying facts. Thank you for speaking on this. Lioness is saying, Mossy, I frequent in Pan-African spaces. They have been purposely turned against us, just like we have been turned against them for so long. Now that we're connecting globally, the truth is coming out. This is so true. This is so true. For so long, we've been taught to dislike Africans and oh, this, that, and the other. And Africans have been taught to dislike us, but don't fall for the okie doke. You know what? Let's come together. Let's share resources with one another. That's what I'm about. Let's share resources. Let's do that. Let's do that. Let's share resources and come together. And let's share resources, come together, and let's share resources, come together, and create bridges between for each of us, for each of the different communities, for the different countries. Share resources, share. Listen, we're stronger together. That's all I'm going to say. And then I'm going to read the comments, respond to the comments, and then we shall jump out of here. All right. And so Jenny is saying, you Africans help bring us here. Are we fighting about how we got here? Help bring us here. Listen, I'll say this. No human being has the right to buy or sell another human being. If a person does not consent and agree upon what they're going to trade for their labor, nobody has a right to make that decision for them. And we got here under unfortunate terms. We're here now. What do we do? What do we do? And so April is saying, who's stronger together? All people is what you're saying, right? If you really want to know what I'm saying so that I don't mince words. Let me say this so you can hear me. Black people are stronger together. This is a true statement. That's what I'm saying. Is there any confusion there? April? Is there some issue that you take with what it is that I'm saying? Yes, all people are stronger together. However, right now, I'm talking about Black people. Black people are stronger together. We are stronger when we unite. Is there something that's confusing about that statement? Please speak up. Please speak up. All right. And so Clement is saying their ancestors did it. The new generation is not to be blamed for slavery, but the new generation can fix the past. All right. So let's talk about that. I think that there needs to be steps that are taken for countries that participated in the transatlantic trafficking trade. I refuse to call these human beings slaves because they were not slaves. They were our ancestors. They were your ancestors too, right? They were trafficked and they were illegally trafficked and illegally, unlawfully, and unjustly sold, right? And no human being has the right to sell another human being. These were trafficked humans. And there needs to be the governments who participated, the countries that participated need to make some sort of efforts to right the wrongs of the past. What that looks like, there are Pan-African groups who talk about that now. Ghana has done some things like offering land to repatriating African Americans. offering citizenship to repatriating African Americans. So if there's a person who has a certain percentage of DNA from a particular country, and it is through no fault of their own that their ancestors were stolen and trafficked from that country, I think that yes, there needs to be some sort of push to get these people to come back, to get some land, to something needs to happen. So yes, I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. I'm all for that. So, all right. So Don Diallo is saying, call it melanated people. Black is just a frequently used term. I understand. I like to use the word Nubian as well. I think that we do need to come up with a word that we can use, agree upon, and feel good about. You know, I do feel that. I do feel that. Money is saying the past will be hard to fix since every inch of the Black diaspora has been under control by white people. Look at what they did to Haiti. Oh, yes. Haiti was one of the first countries. Haiti was, I think, the first country to liberate themselves. And they were decimated by the reparations that they had to pay to France to be independent. That is a crime in and of itself. Like, Haiti should be thriving right now, but they've had to pay back so much debt and all of this other stuff. It's unbelievable. These people are unbelievable. All right. All right, Pina de Cuba is saying, why are so many people here posting half-truths? You think the whole of you were sold by your people? And what do you think happened to some of those Black people who sold you, not only to the pink terrorists, but to the Arab too? And after you find out that piece of information, try to find out what happened to the Africans, especially the kings who said no. I will not sell off my people. I will not be a part of human trafficking. So yes, many were, and then it cuts off. Yeah, I mean, from what it is that I'm hearing, people were harmed. There were kings who were harmed and killed and all this other stuff if they said no. There's a lot, and we don't know, but we do need to look into it so that we can piece together what happened. W.E.B. Du Bois wrote a prolific book that changed my life when I read it when I was young. It's called The World in Africa, and it talked about the trade, the spice trade, and how it turned into human trafficking, and how the hunger for that human trafficking outweighed all of the other trade. And so it's The World in Africa by W.E.B. Du Bois is a prolific book. I recommend everybody read it, right? So I guess we never heard back from that person who was trying to find out who I was talking to. Okay. So Chris is saying, Tanya, your message to Nigerians in the government should include security. There are terrorists like the Boko Haram that are massacring Nigerian citizens on a daily basis. If the government can create SARS to police the citizens, they can create similar forces to police those in the government that are perpetrating corruption and embezzlement of government resources, and more importantly, make SARS to aid the police and the military to get rid of Boko Haram. You know, I don't know about that. I really don't know. I didn't realize that Boko Haram was still in existence. I hear rumors of them, but are they still out there terrorizing and killing people? Why is this happening? What is the government going to do? But I think that it's important to step by step. So right now, the EndSARS movement is in an uprising right now. I think that it's important to follow through on that, get that done, and then start working outward from there. Never let up, just stay on top of it. That's why I'm saying we need lawyers. We need people who can be intermediaries between the headquarters of the organization and the powers that be, to be able to bridge the gap in talks and communication, and people who can oversee the process of making sure that justice is delivered. And so Sky is saying the protest is being manipulated by political opponents because all the demands the people put forward has been met. No, it hasn't been met, because from what it is that I'm hearing, the demands also includes compensation, compensation for the victims in the past, retraining, um, prosecution. So no, those demands have not been met. SARS was disbanded, but that's just one step. So I don't know what you're talking about. Come forward. Come forward. And somebody's saying, Auntie, please look in the mirror. I don't know what that means. Look in the mirror at what? I thought I looked good. I thought I looked good. I look good enough, right? I look good enough. Okay. And Ms. TJ saying Africa has a high regard for family. There are 52 countries in Africa, so you have to tell us which country you're talking about. Willett is saying Black is a color, not a human. I hear you. I hear you. Okay. Wiseman is saying our ancestors were enslaved. I will not use the word slaves. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you. I can't read all of the comments. So somebody said, look up the definition of Boko Haram. And from what it is that I remember from back in the days when they stole and kidnapped those girls, that Boko Haram mean protest against the West or against the West education or something like that, right? Okay. All right. Oh, okay. So they're saying he's not talking to me. And so, all right. So Rosanna's saying African men are nothing like Black American men or Black Jamaican or Black British. They actually see how important a family unit is. You know what? Listen, Rosanna, and I probably need to do an entire video about this because I am not of the mindset of how do we put this? I'm not of the mindset of I'm trying to think of a good word to use. But I'm not of the mindset of automatically giving a person a pass because of a country or continent that they're from. People still need to be like when it comes to relationship. So as a group, the arcing theme in different African countries is an emphasis on family, yes. An emphasis on people getting married, on people having unions, on people having children, yes. However, there are some cultural dysfunctions that exist that need to be addressed and looked into because there's still misogyny is still rampant in many African countries. And many African wives still don't have their basic human and civil rights met. Now, you have to take a person on a case-by-case basis, but there are cultural things like for Nigerian men, I'm going to speak about Nigeria because that's what I know from being over there. There seems to be an overarching theme that infidelity is just really a part of marriage. Oh, I'm going to cheat. I'm going to have another woman. I'm going to have another family or other wives or whatever, right? So there are many people whose grandfathers, they can go back to their grandfather's days. I mean, even Jadena said in one of his songs that his grandfather had many wives, right? So it's like there's still some cultural differences that still need to be addressed. So don't go off, thinking that everything is rosy posy. Because listen, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna keep it very real because I keep it real in my videos, right? There are many Nigerian women who are not sexually satisfied, being pleased sexually, and there are many men who don't feel that it is their duty to please her. And I'm not talking about everyone, but I've seen this expressed far too many times. And these are things that need to be looked into. There are some advantages that come along with being in Americanized unions, right? In Americanized unions, it is a given that a woman has needs and needs that should be met. In more traditional unions in other countries, like let's say in like Nigeria, there are some traditional people that they just don't really take a woman's pleasure into account. You know, like you having a voice, you going and squirting and having all these orgasms and all this other stuff. This is really not a traditional theme, that something that is practiced traditionally. You know, even the going down and this type of stuff, and doing the things to make himself pliable to cater to you as a woman. I just so let's not make it seem, listen, there's grass. No grass is greener. As long as you're dealing with men, listen, there may be some issues. There may be some issues. You know, men need training all over the damn world. Let me just say it. I know I got a lot of Nigerians on the broadcast, but men need training all over the doggone world. They do. They do. Okay, let's see. We can talk about that stuff in another video. All right. I don't want to talk about that in this video. We're talking about protest and standing up. I don't want to talk about, you know, squirting out oil and diesel engines. And you remember that Jill Scott song? I'm a diesel engine. I'm squirting out oil, and we don't need to talk about all of that right now. Crown Royal on ice. No. We're talking about protests right now. So be on your best behavior, boys and girls. Okay. So Joni is saying real openness and understanding of history. There are too many mixed folks with a false sense of self and keep their heads buried in the sand until the get of rude awakening. All right. All right. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. All right. Okay. And so Kevin is saying we need to stop using this as an opportunity to crap on Black Americans. We all have our problems. Okay. All right. And Kenosha is saying in Spain, just watching. Buenos días. Bienvenidos. Gracias por mirando. I appreciate you being here. Gracias. All right. So Lynn is saying, I'm not beautiful in the eyes of men, but in Africa, shoot. Wait, what? Well, I'm not beautiful in the eyes of men here, but in Africa, shoot. But I'm sure there's a reason for that too. LOL, right? Now I'm enjoying it. And you're right. The grass ain't greener. I just haven't seen that other side. Listen, there's different grass. You just have to deal with what comes with that grass. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, individual basis. And listen, remember, we're talking about protests right now. All right. So the money struggle is saying the tribes within Nigeria can't even unite within themselves. We are doomed. I mean, listen, I hope tribalism can get under control. Malama is saying every woman is in polygamy if her husband has a side piece. Oh, well. Mukaji is saying, look, it's only polygamy if all the wives are taken care of and treated equally. Most of these marriages are not true polygamy, as economic exploitation. Speak on it. Listen. And Jamel is saying, as much as you complain about Black American men, grass not greener, wow, this is left field, but keep it up. You know, I'll say this, and I'm going to try to say this without using profanity because, you know, sometimes when I get angry, the profanity just comes out. And right now, I just feel this pulsating in my head. I'm angry right now at that comment. I'll just say this, right? My channel is for people who are intellectual and people who can think logically and critically, right? This is what my channel is for. The people on my channel are intelligent. I attract intelligent people. If you feel that me talking about things that need to be improved is indicative of of Black male collective here in the United States, right? If all Black men were defunct, right, you have to be able to separate. You have to be able to separate that there are people, there are problematic behaviors out there that need to be addressed. And if you feel that there are no good Black men out there, or that this is that there is no hope, and that when I talk about these men, that it's obvious that there's an indication that there's no good Black American men. If there were no good Black American men, I would just tell Black women to just go elsewhere. I would just tell them to, I don't know. I really don't know what I would tell them, but I would say this, right? Please understand that it is your hatred for Black men. It's your hatred for Black men that makes you interpret us speaking about dusties and speaking about people who are bums or deadbeat fathers or abusive. That if you feel that that is Black men, the Black male collective, then that's your hatred for Black men. Because if you can't separate that these are the people that I'm talking about, these behaviors need to be avoided, come on. I feel really sorry for you. I feel really sorry for you. I feel really sorry for you. Mojo is saying polygamy is agreed upon. Cheater, pumpkin eater is simply that. Disloyalty and dishonesty, just like there's no contract without parties agreeing to the term. Stop taking B. So this is precise. This is right. Polygamy is agreed upon. There are people who can cheat in a polygamous union. It's like cheating is dishonesty. You could be in a polygamous union and still cheat. So it's like, polygamy is more for family structure, not for somebody going out there sowing their oats. There's a lot of people in America who misconstrue what polygamy is, and they think there's a lot of men who think that it's going to be, a variation of sex, and it's like you need to have your finances together. Anyway, okay. I'm going to let you all go because it seems like it seems like we're going to start entering into a different types of conversations. And I really just wanted this video to just be about how proud I am of Nigerians rising up. We'll talk about some of the other relationship stuff a little bit later. And anybody who is not comfortable on my channel, I urge you, please leave. You will not be missed. It's fine. I don't need a whole bunch of views from people whose sole purpose here is to express that they don't feel what it is that I'm saying. I don't need that. You know what I mean? I don't need it. I'm sorry. We're coming upon an hour anyway. So, I like to get out of here. Oh, so I got a Cash App from Steve. Steve M sent $10. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you. If my videos help you in any way, if you are entertained, if you like the videos, if they resonate with you, if they provide entertainment for you, if they're able to take some of your time, make your day easier, brighter, lighter, cooler, make you think, bring up good conversation, introduce you to other people in the comments. If my videos have any benefit to you, by all means, support the channel. You can join my personal mailing list, TanyaTKO.com, and just click on subscribe. You can also click on support and support the channel. You can also go to Amazon. You can also go to Amazon and get my self-love affirmations workbook. It is almost sold out. It's sold out in UK and European Amazon. It's sold out in Canada and Mexico, and it's almost sold out in the United States. There's going to be more stock provided, but if you want to get yours now, make sure that you get on and you get yours. These are the most powerful affirmations that I said when I was living in my car in 2016 and everything seemed horrible and I didn't know how I would get out of that situation. These are the affirmations I said. As you know, I'm a life coach and I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And those affirmations were constructed in such a way to be able to help you shift and rewrite your subconscious programming into self-love. I also do life coaching sessions and hypnotherapy sessions as well. If you go to my website and click on booking, you will see that. And on that note, we have 5 more minutes left before we get to the top of the hour. I'll just read a few more comments and then we'll get out of here. So Tony is saying, don't run away, tune them out. No, it's not about tuning them out. It's about having a conversation, and the conversation reaching the end of what the intended conversation was. And I don't want to have a 2-hour show. And the first hour I'm talking about ending SARS and protests. And then in the second hour, we're talking about romance, polygamy, squirting, orgasms, and all this other stuff. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that, because you say those words in the video and YouTube demonetizes they demonetize the video, right? So someone is saying, how do I get a copy in Nigeria? You know what? I need to, is there an Amazon Africa? Which country does Amazon Africa ship from? Like, where are the warehouses? Because I probably need to work on getting some stock over there as well. And so somebody's saying that Obama had a hand in Boko Haram. How interesting, right? Eddie is saying, Niger proud, one Nigeria. I hear you. Go ahead and thumbs up this video. We got 3.5 more minutes before we get out of here, because we are leaving before the hour mark. Rosanna is saying, I think it's on her Facebook page. What is it that you're looking for? Say the website one more time. It's TanyaTKO.com. It's in the link of the video. If you look in the description of the video, it's right there. It's my name.com. TONYATKO.com. We got Ben saying proudly Nigerian. So we have a lot of proud Nigerians in here. Big up Nigeria. Big up yourself. Sharon is saying, enjoyed your topic. All right. And Jenny is having an argument with someone named Tammy, saying, no, I'm well off. My kids are college educated. I'm tired of the disrespect shown to my people here who are in the struggle. What disrespect are we talking about? I'm missing something. And Michelle is saying, what solutions do you have for ending SARS abuses? SARS was disbanded. So, all right. Mary says, I love your videos. Thanks for sharing our Nigeria story. You're welcome. I'm happy that Nigeria is standing up. I think it's so important. It's so important for change. The world is changing. And then we got Chukwan saying, you're Nigerian, Tanya. I mean, genetically, I am Nigerian. Okay. And Kevin is saying, oh God, these white women. What's going on, Kevin? Are white women acting up inside the comments today? I don't even know what's going on. Oh gosh. And Willett is saying the world will be destroyed by man because of the lack of love for all races and racism. Listen, look, the Caucasians need to fix this mess. They started this mess. They need to fix it. And so Michelle is saying, I'm seeing videos where they're still out there. I guess they're talking about Boko Haram. Ben is saying Nigeria will get it right. And we have just 2 more minutes before the top of before we get to an hour. So go ahead and you can start saying your goodbyes. Sky Blizz is saying, Tanya, you look Nigerian. If I'm genetically Nigerian, I would suppose I would look Nigerian, right? That makes sense, right? So I think the mix was 67% Nigerian. Then there's some Ghanaian in there and some South African. So when you see that booty, you see South Africa all over it. Listen, there's that South African Ghanaian booty back there. Oh goodness. Alamu is saying, I'm never scared to travel to Nigeria. I grew up in Detroit. Well, you shouldn't be scared. Nobody should be scared to travel to Nigeria. Nigeria is beautiful. The Money is saying, Tanya, Igbo princess. Yes, the island my father is from was inhabited by trafficked Igbo, so I am most likely Igbo. When I am in Nigeria, people speak to me in Igbo and they think I understand them. So KK is saying, yes, Tanya, these white women are acting up in the comments. You need one more mod. All right. You know what? I have to look for my next mod because I need to bring my next mod on, but I need a mod who is on the broadcast, who shows up, who's in like Flynn. When you're one of my moderators, you also get some perks. You get a package of my vitamin E before anybody else. So when it's sold out to other people, you get your vitamin E. You always make sure you get your vitamin E. So my mods get paid in vitamin E. All right. So we've reached the hour mark. So listen, I'm going to say goodbye to you all. I'll say goodbye to the first 10 people who bid me adieu. So have a great day, everyone. Like I said, we are broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, Periscope. So thank you all. Thank you, Tanya, for coming through. Tanya's on all of my broadcasts. If you want to be a mod, make sure you reach out to me behind the scenes, because a person who is always there, matters. That definitely makes a difference, right? Somebody who could spell my doggone name right. You could talk about you want to be my mod and you misspelling my name. Come on now. Come on now. So Willett is saying Nigerian lives matter. Yes, Nigerian lives matter. You damn right. Nigerian lives matter. Imagine if I stood up here and opened up my mouth to talk about all lives matter or American lives matter. The F, it's the arrogance of Caucasoids. It's startling. It's startling. Okay. So Diane, thank you for coming out. Thank you. Lioness is saying the vitamin E is the truth. Thank you for coming out. Courtney, thank you for coming out. Okay. So people were talking about all types of craziness. Ariel, thank you for coming out. Mona, thank you for coming out. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mona is saying your time zone is too early for me. I know, right? I broadcast at different times of the day and night. Mary Ada, thank you for coming out. KK, thank you. Thank you all for the spirited discussion. Keep Nigeria in your thoughts and prayers, and I'll see you all in the next video. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Go out there and love one another, but most importantly, what? That's right, love yourself. And part of loving yourself is having love for other people, for acknowledging other people's struggles and their triumphs and their tribulations and their overcoming, and having respect for other people's journeys. And I got another Cash App from Crystal GC saying, please keep talking. She sent $15. Thank you. I'm going to send you a heart. Thank you, Crystal. I appreciate the love. And we are out of here. I just don't like to broadcast for more than an hour, but we'll be back. Make sure you're on my mailing list. We're going to do a call-in show, and I'm going to take some ideas from you all about what the call-in show will be about. All right. So I will see you all in the next video. Tanya TKO, and I'm out. Peace, 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 peace.